Merry Christmas and welcome to our kitchen. This year I thought I'd do something a little bit different and introduce you to some of our favorite Christmas memories and treats and desserts. So we're going to start today with O. Henry Crunch. This recipe is our personal recipe and we've had it in our family for probably, I don't know, several decades. You put in corn flakes, light Caro syrup, peanut butter, brown sugar, butterscotch morsels, and also your semi-sweet morsels. You're going to see how easy this recipe is, but it's really, really yummy. We're going to put that in here with the brown sugar, and then we're going to get it going and get it all melted down. This recipe is also a no-bake recipe, so it's kind of like you make it all together, you put it in the pan, you put it in, you set it outside. Do not put this in the refrigerator. It makes it really hard to cut, and it's really not as tasty either. And now I'm going to go ahead and just get this going on our stove. Kind of like to stir it as it's melting so that it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pan. We don't want it to burn. This is getting cooked really well. Now we want to bring this to a boil. I'm going to turn up the heat just a little bit and get that to a boil. That aside, we're going to add this peanut butter to our brown sugar and Caro syrup mixture. Look at how yummy that looks. This will just melt right in there. We'll just mix that in. That is perfect right there. See what the consistency is like, the color's like, and it smells delicious. So I'm going to turn this down to low and just kind of keep that on the fire. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to put together our butterscotch chips and our semi-sweet morsels into a double boiler. And if you don't have a double boiler, the way to make one is really easy. You take a pot and a bowl that are pretty much the same size. You boil your water, you take your pot and you set that right down on top. And this way the chips will melt evenly and you can just go ahead and keep stirring them and they're already starting to melt. You kind of want to mix those around so that they're all incorporated together, the chocolate and the butterscotch. I need to now just go over and check my other mixture and make sure it's doing well. Probably a couple stirs on that. Yep, looks good. Look at that. Looks perfect. I'm going to go ahead and turn this down because now I'm going to mix the corn flakes and all of these ingredients together, and you're going to see how it all comes together really nicely. We're now going to add to this big bowl right here 6 cups of corn flakes. That's a lot of corn flakes. Now we're going to take our brown sugar, Caro syrup, and peanut butter mixture and add it to the corn flakes. Now this is the hardest part of the whole recipe, and that's incorporating this mixture into your corn flakes. And you're going to think, I don't have enough mixture for these corn flakes, but you will. You can see we switched to a wooden spoon because the plastic spoon just wants to flex. And this gives your arm a little bit of a workout, so be prepared that it's going to take a lot of mixing to get this right. So you can see I've already buttered a 9x13 baking dish. This mixture is going to be poured in here and then pressed in to place till it's flat and level. So I got out a piece of wax paper and I'm going to use that to just kind of press on the mixture to get it in there, make sure it's flat before I pour on my chocolate. That looks pretty good. Okay, now we've got our chocolate mixture and that is going to go right on the top of the cornflake mixture. So this is hot, so I'm going to use my glove. And I like to do a little bit in the middle first and then kind of spread that out. Now one thing you want to remember with the O. Henry Crunch is you never want to put this in the refrigerator. You just want to let it sit out and cool, and it will take a few hours to really set up. Another thing you can add to this, which is really good, is you could put some walnuts in here as a little more crunch. Cashews would be good. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. So this is what O. Henry Crunch looks like before it's totally set. Kind of has a nice layer of chocolate on the top and the crunch on the bottom. We're going to need to let this sit for probably a couple hours before we can actually cut it. What I recommend cutting it with is actually a pizza cutter because that gives you enough force to be able to cut through. This is pretty thick and it will require a little bit of force to cut them through, but I think you're really going to enjoy O. Henry Crunch. And just kind of let you see what it looks like. There's your cornflake crust and the chocolate on top. And these you want to cut in tiny squares because it's really rich. So I just kind of hold down. Alternatively, you can use a really good knife. So I'm going to try that. It's a little on the crunchy side. Actually, I think the knife works pretty well. Here's the completed tray of O. Henry Crunch. David and Matt are going to try a piece before he takes it to work tomorrow to share with the staff in the ER.
All right, Matt, pick a piece.
It's really good.
It is good. I'm a little biased because I love your cooking and I love these holiday treats, but I think this is the best batch. The cornflake part is really nice and crispy. Good job, yeah?
The next Christmas recipe we're going to be putting together will be David's favorites, which are the coconut cranberry chews. Stay tuned.
You realize if we make a mistake, we have to retake and resample. So
Yeah, I know. That's what
Try to
I'm
make
excited about.
try to make a mistake. All right. Are you ready?
Ready.
Okay.